So, drop wire. As we discussed, there are two types, 2-pair and 6-pair. 2-pair being most common for residential, 6-pair being possible for residential, but more than likely for business applications. As we discussed in the picture, on the sides of the drop wire are fiber support strands that give it a little bit of rigidity. Now, in order for us to expose the copper conductors in the center, we have to cut those in order to be able to cut off this black sheath. Now, what you have to do is you have to take your snips and you have to cut on an angle without cutting the copper conductors. So you're cutting two diagonal cuts roughly in the same spot, and then what you got to do is you got to try and crack it. Now you can see on this side I got it, but on this side I don't have it completely. So we'll try and cut it again just a little bit deeper. There we go, so we got it this time. Sometimes this will break nicely, but most times you got to score it a little bit with your snips, but you don't want to score it too deeply because then you damage your copper conductors again. So, if we have a look here, get that out of the way. So we scored a little bit of the copper conductor, but not very much. So, as you can see on here right now, you can see your different conductors. So you got pair 6, and then you've got pair 4. And then you got pair 5. And then you got pair 3. And then you got pair 1. And then you got pair 2. Okay? So, in order to utilize this pull string, which will allow you to expose more copper without the potential of damaging the copper, then what you want to do is take your snips and do a little incision like that. And then you take your pull string and you can start to pull it back. Now usually it's pretty hard in the fingers, so I like to wrap it with a little piece of paper towel. Get it nicely wrapped around there. And then what you can do then is you can pull it and it just simply cuts the plastic. Right? And then what you do is you grab your conductors, you pull them out of the plastic like that, snip that off. I usually leave this intact until I know that I'm done for sure. But now you've got the right length of conductor in order to do whatever you need to do. So in this particular case, this could be going into your NID, in which case this attaches to your block, which is where you connect your inside wire to, or this could be going into the terminal where you will splice onto the incoming pairs. The other option with this, and unfortunately I got the wrong size, this is your hanging hook. So what you would generally do, this is made for 2-pair drop wire, you would slide this over top, and then this piece, which has got a rough edge to it, which grips onto the plastic sheeting. So once you get the drop inside there, you put that little clip in there, and then you would wedge this in here, and that would hold it really securely. And then this would go onto the hook on the house, or if it was on the terminal side, this would go onto the hook on the pole, and that way your drop is secured. So you get this as tight as possible with as little droop as possible, and that makes sure that it stays at the correct height. Now whenever you have drop troubles, maybe half the time it'll be something to do with this. Either this has come off, or this has slipped loose for some particular reason, or it's broken, and generally speaking that's why your drop is hanging low. Or it's got torn off because it's been contacted by a vehicle or some high load or something like that. But that's drop wire in a nutshell.